Okay, very simple process for our maintenance. And again, where do I want my axes? I don't want any axe or hatchet to have a razor edge on it. It's pointless. It's not gonna last. What I want is just enough of an edge on there to bite one of your fingernails a little bit, to just trim a little bit of it off so that it kind of digs in. That is plenty sharp at the edge. It's plenty thin at the edge. I try to keep my maintenance routine to where I start maintaining before I lose that. If you lose that wedge, then that determines, if you lose the bite, then that determines how far back in the process you have to go. So, step one, clean this thing off with some degreaser. Get all the tree sap off. Get all the old wax paste off. Get all that off. Bring it back down to just clean metal. If you have the bite at the edge still, then you can go straight to your 3,000, 6,000, 10,000 and strop. If you have lost the bite, you're going to need to reestablish your edge using your 1,000 grit whetstone. So I recommend make it easier on yourself, make it easier on the life of your tool, extend the life of your tool by starting your maintenance before you let it get too dull. Because remember, the more abrasive the product is that you're using to sharpen, the more metal you're taking off. The more metal you're taking off, you're shortening the life of your tool. Once I've gone through and re-put my edge on there, then I'll go ahead and reapply my finish with either 500 grit and then 800, depending on how many scratches or abrasions there are on the edge itself. So that's pretty much the maintenance portion. It's the most critical portion. It's the portion that you're going to do the most if you really want to take care of your knives and your axes and keep them working well for you. Don't ever let your tool get really dull. Get rid of that mindset of, oh, I can cut down 17 trees with my axe before I have to sharpen it. That's dumb. Nobody did that in the ancient world. The ancient Japanese knife makers and swordsmiths, they never did that. The Vikings never did that. They touched up their items and their tools, their blades, after every use. If you get in the habit of that, they'll last you a long time. Appreciate you guys sticking with me through this video. I know there was a lot of information covered. Haven't made a video in 5 years, and all I've done is gain subscribers. I've never lost a subscriber. So I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. Stay tuned to some more videos. First thing we got to do is use some degreaser. Anything will do. Spray a good coat on there. And we're going to try to get all the old paste wax off, but then also any tree sap, anything that's stuck from some of the wood that we've been cutting in. We want to get rid of all that, get it cleaned off. Do not cut yourself while you're doing this. Pretty embarrassing. I've still got good bite on this blade, so I don't need to go too far. So I kind of use a setup like Murray Carter uses, or maybe his name's Carter Murray. I watched a video years ago of sort of a water box with a board across the top, which is really helpful. And so all I'm doing here is I'm putting the axe down, and I've sort of got it lifted up a little bit, and I'm just using circular strokes, and I'm just kind of polishing the edge, work my way down. Going away from me, then I'll switch it over and I'll do the same on the other side, and I'll just do this as many times as necessary until I feel like I've got it polished to the point that I want it. Then I'm going to move on to my 6,000 grit stone. Same process. What you're seeing here is the exact length of time that I do it. Flip it over, do the other side. Next step, we've got our 10,000 grit waterstone. And I'm just polishing that edge up a little bit more. There's no reason. I prefer to have smaller pieces if I need them for you working on axes, because you can work the tool around the axe rather than the axe around the stone. The other stones that you saw, that's just all that I have, so I don't really have anything else. So I'm not going to break a perfectly good stone just for this. One side done. Move on to the other side. Just using circular strokes. You can turn the axe around however you want to do it. This doesn't take a long time because we're not starting from scratch with this thing. We've already we've made sure that we're doing this regularly, so we don't have to do a whole lot. So that's done. Alright, for this next step, we've already got our edge polished, so all we're going to do is just kind of put a little bit better finish on the wedge portion. So I've just got some 800 grit sandpaper here. I don't think I need any 500, so I'm just going to stick to the 8. And I'm just cleaning this up. This will kind of help get some dirt and debris off of it, but also get some scratches out of it, so it'll slide through your workpiece a lot better. So I'll just flip this over. That's already where I need it to be. It doesn't take a whole lot if you do this regularly. And then move on to the... So the last step of the actual edge work comes with our leather strop stick. We've got some cutting fluid on there, and we're just going to make a few passes. Again, we're going away from the blade, away from the edge rather. Doesn't require a lot. And I'm mainly focusing on the edge portion and maybe 1/8 of an inch back. Just a few strokes is all you need to really hone this thing up. Sometimes this is all you need, depending on when you decide to maintain it. So a good strop stick, a 10,000 grit stone, will often be all that you need. So I'd use this one for a few weeks, so it needed a little bit more attention. So that's it as far as actual sharpening and refining our edge. The last thing to do is we're just going to apply our paste wax and seal this sucker off. So we're ready to put our new coat of wax on this. So we'll just get some out on a rag of some sort. And I also put this stuff on my handles as well. It's a really good sealer, so it cuts down on, you know, overall having your axe handle break down because of rot. Since I got some degreaser on, I'm going to put a little bit more down here. For all the areas that are metal, then I'm going to put some of this wax on it. Don't need a lot, just a good coat. Put it on here, let it sit for about 30 minutes or so where it's good and dry, and then come back and wipe it off with a clean rag. Just the same process that you do for your car, and you're really going to get, I think you're really going to enjoy the way your axe performs or your hatchet performs if you do this extra step. It's definitely worth it. Alright, so we'll let this dry, and then again the next step is we're just going to wipe that off and polish it with a clean rag. So thank you guys for tuning in. Take care of your axes, and I hope these work out well for you. Thank you guys.